You're the last speaker. Mr. Helmer.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and I apologise to the Minister that I had a media interview which caused me to miss his remarks, but I think I have in fact picked up the thread. Could I just remind colleagues and the Minister that we're in the 21st century and there has been no further global warming this century. That fact by itself falsifies the orthodox theory of man-made climate change. Now, you've made some remarks, Minister, about mitigation. Mitigation involves massive upfront expenditure ahead of time in an attempt to prevent a problem which is based on long-term forecasts. Can I remind you that the Meteorological Office can't tell us whether it's going to rain on Tuesday, but they pretend they can tell us what the climate will be in 100 years' time. It's based on rather suspect climate models which are not accurately predicting the future. It's based on highly speculative science. But you will have spent billions and billions of euros up front by the time you discover whether those forecasts were right or wrong. And let me remind you that regardless of your view of climate change, the renewables policies we adopt today do not work, do not deliver, but force up costs. There is increasing evidence that the use of intermittent renewables merely exports inefficiency to the necessary fossil fuel backup, so that the electricity you thought you were generating and the emissions you thought you were saving with your wind turbines are in fact offset by the inefficiencies in the backup. Can I also remind you that in the global pipeline there are currently 1,200 coal-fired power stations in development. Therefore, whatever we do in Europe, however many solar panels we put up, however many wind turbines we put up, in fact we cannot stop the trend of CO2. It's going to happen anyway. Our choice is not whether or not we can stop the increase in CO2 in the atmosphere. Our choice is whether we destroy European economies. And let me just remind you of the recent comments of Antonio Tajani, the Industry Commissioner, who has said that we in Europe are creating an industrial massacre with energy prices. What are you going to do, Minister, to prevent that industrial massacre?
Now, I've left Mr. Helmer's question to last, and I just wanted to say that there are those who say climate change is not anthropogenic, it's not made by man. And I think that in looking at the issues, it cannot be denied that man, with his activities, has done tremendous damage to the ecosystem and the environment. In the course of 2013, there have been studies which have come out. In 2013, there were some 3,000 scientific papers published and publications on climate change. And you'll see there that the vast majority of those studies do say that man is an important factor, quite apart from the physical factors as well. But the anthropogenic and man-made dimension is clearly there. And consequently, there is a need for us to factor that into our equation. I hope I've responded to the questions which have been asked. I've tried not to take up too much time.